What's going on? It's Compound Interest Stock Guy. Today we're going to be talking about my watch list. We're just going to be, focusing on just what's got a lot of volume, companies to look at for different scenarios. So stay tuned. We're going to go through commodities. We're going to go through cannabis. We're going to go through S&P 500, 5G, dividend, and profitable and cash, low PE, and maybe a few more, but gonna make it fairly short, so probably 10 to 20 minutes max. I want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about. Buy or sell after your own research, due diligence, and you like the investments you're pursuing. So first, when I look at my watch list, I look at the volume. So a lot of volume in Pfizer. I do have some call options till January 15th. So disclosure. Yeah, so I had a lot of volume. Apple's always got a lot of volume, so it's not really that important. I mean, just saying there's a lot of volume. Same with Microsoft, usually has a lot of volume. The iShares Russell, yeah, maybe a little more volume than normal. Cisco, a lot of volume. Boeing. But now we're also looking at what went down. Boeing went down 3% yesterday. Constellation Brands went down a little bit, not too bad. Anheuser-Busch went down a little bit. So Moderna went up 5%, right? Because they got vaccine news that's a high percentage. See, but Pfizer has more money, so Pfizer could buy Moderna if they wanted to. They could acquire them, I'm sure. And then the pro shares, because the S&P 500 went down. And Albemarle is a lithium player, so maybe lithium, maybe he's on the rise. I'm not sure. This is just small details. I'm not going to go into super in depth, but you guys can look into these companies. These are top companies like Lilly, and Pfizer was up 1.4%. So I think Pfizer could go up a bit before their vaccine gets released. I think they could go to 40, 45, but there's no guaranteed. As well as the CEO did sell some of his shares, so I mean that is something to consider. But potentially could go higher. I mean, if you look at how high some of the companies have gone, there's really and the fact that the volume is double what they usually do. So their volume is usually about 30 million. So the fact that there's 60 million shares moved, like that's the second and most out of all. It means there's a lot of eyes watching it. So potentially when they release it, before they get released, it could go up a lot. Now once it gets released, they'll sell on the news, so that's when you want to sell, when you're in profits. Now we're going to go to cannabis companies. What companies had a lot of volume? Tilray had a lot of volume, and it also went up 9.3%. So Tilray, if you're looking at cannabis companies, is one of the companies to more so eye. A lot of volume there. I like that. Aurora had a lot of volume, almost 5 million, only up 1%. So Grow Generation, I can't believe how high they went. I owned this stock when it was like $4 or $3, and I sold it for like $4.75 before it got onto the NASDAQ and did it all its thing, and I never rebought it. I was hoping to buy it cheaper, but it went away from me. It's pretty incredible how it's done so amazing, but then like a company like Kush Bottle hasn't done very good at all. Kush Bottles has a lot more shares, but not like crazy amount of shares. So it's pretty crazy how GRWG's become like such a big name in the cannabis space. 55 million in revenue last quarter too, so that's pretty impressive in US dollars. So Afria at $8, Canopy Growth 23, Village Farms has been getting a bit of momentum, so keep your eyes peeled on VFF. We'll go to the ones that went up the most. So Tilray, Choom went up about a half a penny. Zynerba was up 3%. Planet 13, it's been going up for a long time. Kush Ball's up a little bit, not much. GW Pharma, Merrimet up a bit, and AFA. So what was down for the day? Canopy Rivers. So I'm not sure why I don't own that company. I did before. True Leaf, they did do really good financials, but I guess people are selling now, so it'll be interesting how that's going to play out. And tilts down, green thumbs down. Yeah, green thumbs like went up like crazy, but their revenues are insane. Like 150 million is huge. Valen's down. Be interesting how they'll play out. Let's go to the commodities. So Cisco's not a commodity, but I had it in there for another reason. But yeah, it's I'm gonna take it out. And Veil, let's look at the highest volume. Riot blockchain, I consider crypto kind of a commodity in a sense. It's just a weird thing. Like if I made up my own crypto watch list, I'd probably forget about it. So I want to look at the commodities from time to time. So this makes it easier, and I just kind of consider it to be somewhat of a commodity. So because they're in crypto, it's been going up quite a bit, and the fact that there's that much volume is very interesting. So how much I'm gonna look at this. How many shares outstanding? Shares outstanding, and there was 34 million. Like, that's pretty crazy, and it's like four times their average volume. So I mean, it's interesting. So it's kind of stalling out. Maybe people are peeling out of their positions, or maybe they're accumulating. I'm not really sure. It's kind of at a weird situation, but if Bitcoin does go down, this stock should go down. If Bitcoin does go up, this stock should go up. I'm thinking that it could pull back to like 450 or 5, and it may create a buying opportunity, but you just got to be careful. You don't want it to go down like from like say 450 to 5 all the way down to like $3. So at a certain point, and it's saying it's bearish like on smaller time frames. So I mean, it does kind of signal like it could, but then this is saying that it's a buy. So it'll be interesting how it opens. I mean, obviously if it opens, it could just pump up to like 650, 7 and 8, right? So we'll see how the market kind of opens up, but just wanted to share that with you guys. It's a company I really do like. I don't own any, but I would like to own a bit of that company. So that's what's up. And Freeport McMoran, I got my it was like a $9 calls when they were like $8 or something like that, or $9. Like I made a killing on that. But I mean, if I would have had someone's all the way out, if I knew copper was going to go up this much, I mean, dang, I would have done really good if I had like a bigger position. But I love like big companies in commodities and playing options, because it's just the best of both worlds. You can play the big volatility, and you got the safety net of the fact that they're a big player. Like, whereas if they're a smaller player and they're in exploration, they could just have one bad sample and then they're like kicked in the corner, right? But on a big player, they just, if the copper goes up, they're going to go up. And same with like ExxonMobil. If oil goes up, like ExxonMobil is going to go up. Like, unless they had like an oil spill, which is super rare, they're going to go up. But if you pick like some random like oil ETF, or you buy some like random oil company, like say like Baytex, like something that's like a lot more risky, well, oil can still go up, but it could still go down a lot. Whereas like you're a lot more likely that oil company going to go up. Like Exxon's going to go up when oil goes up. Like way, way higher chance. The only thing that would really pull it off course is like bad financials, bad news, or something like that. But for the most part, it would pretty much be silenced if oil goes up a lot. So Vail does nickel, and they do other commodities, and it's gone up quite a bit. I mean, it used to be, I think, like $7 or something like that. So GBTC, I've been talking about that since the beginning of the year, and they've done really good. I don't have a position anymore. It was dumb of me, close out of it, but that's life. I may buy some more, because that way I don't have to get like my own wallet and stuff like that for Bitcoin going up. But I'm also kind of like, I don't know why Bitcoin's at where it's at, but like long term, I do think Bitcoin can go to 100,000 or a million in time, but when, that's a question mark. ConocoPhillips oil player and Devon Energy. So let's look at the biggest losses. Sprott Resources did a bad day. Devon Energy, Dominion Energy, ExxonMobil. I think all three are oil companies. I'm not 100% sure on Dominion, but I'm pretty sure on Devon Energy and Exxon. And yeah, so what went up? Sherritt went up. Big nickel player, like not big, but they got a lot of nickel. So I mean, nickel for new vehicles, like the Tesla vehicles, nickel, lithium, iron. They need a lot of nickel. So the nickel price has probably been going up. I haven't checked it in the last like day or two or a week or whatever, but I'm thinking that's pretty much the reason why it's going up. This company, I went down to like, I don't know, 11 cents or something like that. And now Pierpont uranium's going up. Interesting. So uranium's kind of like being tailing. So it kind of wants to peel back up, it looks. So price of uranium's $30 a pound. So if uranium goes like 40 or 50, there could be a big bull run on uranium. So this is a company that's partnered with Cominco. So they're pretty good, attractive company if the price of uranium goes up a lot. And North Island Copper's got a partnership with Freeport McMoran. So I do have stock in all these companies. These three, I'm pretty sure I have like a little bit in PTU, but I used to have a lot more. But if uranium's gonna go up, I mean, if I could get this company at like 2.5 cents, I would buy it. I would buy a ton. I'd probably buy like 20,000 or more. Spend like $500 on it. But it's a good company, but there's still risk. If uranium goes down, they'll go down. Free Gold is a gold company. Eric Sprott says some good things about them, but their exploration more risky than say like Newmont or Barrick Gold. Kirkland Lake Gold and Teck's just been on a run. It's at 1970, and Pan American Silver and Cominco right here. So I like Cominco for uranium. That's a lot safer play than Pierpont, but again, you're not paying as much on Pierpont. I mean, but if you're gonna be a player in the uranium space, put your majority of your money in Cominco, and then like smaller chunks in smaller players. That's my. And then if you're gonna play like silver, put like majority of your money in a bigger company like Pan American Silver or like First Majestic Silver, and then put like smaller in like exploration companies. And yeah, Freeport McMoran just on a run. So what else am we gonna do? 5G. Yeah, nothing too significant. So nothing to talk about. We want volatility. We want like 3, 5%, 10%, 20%, right? So Pan American, this is dividend portfolio, so this doesn't really matter so much, but you can take a peek at this. This is some pretty solid companies for building a dividend portfolio. So yeah, all these are really good. Pan American Silver, Nutrien, BHP, WPM, Sun Life, Fortis. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Sun Life Financial right now. I don't know. I'm just kind of like sketched out about the banking situation. Rio and Power Corporation, TELUS, Enbridge, Great West Life Co., RBC. Again, I'm not like so fond about banks right now, but they may do really good. If oil companies do really good, the bank should do really good. Suncor Energy. Suncor Energy is a little hazy as far as, but they also have a focus to go do like sustainable energy and stuff in the future. So they're not just going to be oil. So, and Vail and Starbucks and ExxonMobil. So this is a pretty good portfolio of like broad-based companies. Obviously, you'd want to buy them for the cheapest amount of money that you could possibly, right? You don't want to just like buy them all at once, right? Because some of these companies are at all-time highs, right? But these are companies to think about to accumulate like a month-to-month basis on a so you can do a good cost basis, right? So over like a 5-year span, if you just continuously like buy like companies like this, then your portfolio will be giving you more dividends and more dividends, and you'll be getting paid like month to month. So that's a way to grow your portfolio, and by just keep adding to it, but also you're gonna get paid, right? Like some of them are only gonna be like 1%, but some are like 4%, right? So if you have, say, like $20,000 and you get 1% a year, well then you're gonna get $200. Now, if you had $20,000 and it was a 4% like overall, then you're gonna get $800, right? So if you had like a portfolio that was like kind of blended towards like 2 to 3% at $10,000, you'd get like $200, $300, right? Or $100,000, you get $2,000 or $3,000 in dividends in a year. So just something to think about. So this is profitability close. I mean, obviously, MetaPharm has not done very good. I mean, it's obviously changed its course. I haven't really been talking too much about labs. I mean, they're probably going to go up higher than where they're at right now if cannabis companies start going on a run. And they do have like some nice partnerships, but as far as the stock goes, like it's definitely underperformed. And that's why I knew like Valens was a way better company, and it's standing the test of time, right? It still hasn't gotten beaten up too much. Whereas like MetaPharm Labs used to be like an $8 stock, and now they're 56 cents. Whereas Valens was, I think like the highest was maybe like $4.50 or $4, and they're only like 45 to 50% of the price like their all-time high is. And then Village Farm is 10.50, so that's pretty good too. And 360 Risk is like halted. Tilda's not done very good, but IAPR has been crushing it, and GRWG's been crushing it, and Planet 13's been crushing it, and Truly's been crushing it. Now Zenabis has not been doing good because they got so many outstanding shares, but they are doing like good EBITDA. They did like 3.4 million last quarter. So, I mean, that's pretty much a portfolio of companies that are profitable or close. Again, 360 Risk is halted. I don't like, and MetaPharm Labs, more question mark, and Zenabis, So the safer ones would be Truly, Planet 13, Grow Generation, IPR, and Village Farms, and Valens. But as far as some of the companies going up too much, and they can go down lower in the next month or so, but in a really hot cannabis market, these are the ones that should thrive, the profitable companies, right? Before it was about hype, but now it's got to be about deliverance, right? So if they're delivering some great numbers, then the market should reward, right? Like that's why Tesla was able to go from like $300 to like pretty much like if there was no split, like the value of what Tesla was gone to is like 2,000 or 2,500. I think it was like a 5-to-1, so $2,500. So, but that's because their revenues and their profits have gone up, so that their value is higher in the marketplace, and then it's gone with also insane hype too, right? So the same thing can happen in the cannabis space. So there could be companies like GTII or Cureleaf or TrueLeaf going to $100 plus, right? So that should come in time, but when, that's a question mark. And if they add too many shares to, that'll make it less likely as well. So just things to consider as far as a trader investor looking at the markets. Low PE miners. This is going to be it. Sneak peek. So you got Nilsey, you got Alcoa, and you got United States Steel and Tech Resources and Freeport McMoran. So these companies have all done pretty good. In the commodity cycle lately. I mean, you look at Tech Resources, they were I think like $6-7 or something like that. Now they're And this is US dollars, so yeah, so I mean, you could have bought Tech and Minko at 650. Now they're 15. So now they're going back on their bullish cycle. But yeah, I mean, this would be the time to buy back in March, and now you would double your money on the position, right? And it's, you know, it's a nice movement, but that's because it's a good company, and you know, they've been around a long time, and yeah, so it's pretty good information. Tech, I think, has a dividend as well, but probably like really small. I'm not sure if they do, so don't quote me. So it's pretty much it. Well, I'll do pharma just for F's sakes. Pfizer, AbbVie, J&J, and Merck. So that is a wrap. So I went through a lot of information in my watch list about stocks in all types of industries, from pharma, cannabis, Bitcoin, commodities, S&P 500, you name it. Hitting you with the good sauce. So anyways, keep compounding your info. Listen to my lingo. Shaka ka. Peace. I'm outie.